Hello and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name is Colette and I'm here today to do a reading for all Cancerians out there. Thank you to all those who have subscribed to my channel and those that have come back to see the videos that I've put out recently. Thank you very much. This is a general reading. It's not going to resonate with all Cancerians out there. And it's a reading for Cancerians that are Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. If you don't know where any of those signs are, apart from obviously your Sun, then I will be putting a link in the description down below so that you can go and check out where your Moon, Rising and Venus are. And if this doesn't resonate with you, you could go and have a look at those videos that I'm putting out that will connect with those other signs as well. So, like I was saying, this is just a general reading. If you would like a personal or private reading with me, then my email will also be in the description down below. And you can email me, tell me what it is that you're looking for, and we can arrange for you to have a personal reading. And because I've managed to put my PayPal link on my channel, that also means that you can pay directly through PayPal, or if you'd rather do it any other way, we can discuss that as well. But also, if anybody would like to give a donation for my channel, that would be greatly received. I am going to try and grow my channel, so if you could thumbs it up and subscribe and tap the bell so that you can receive future videos, that would also be really great as well. I'm going to start the reading off, Cancerians, with a little bit of astrology because I think it's really important at the moment. There's a lot going on and there's some big energies out there, some big energies that have been affecting us all one way or another for a long time. And at the moment, the biggest energy, I suppose, that we're having to deal with is still this Saturn and Pluto energy in Capricorn. And for you Cancerians, it's having a major effect because it's in your 7th house of relationships, ruled by Libra. So you have been having a particularly difficult time also because not only is Saturn and Pluto there, but you've also had the South Node there for quite some time now as well. Probably coming up for probably about a year now, in fact. Around about a year I would think it's been there. So what we've had is a Cancerian Capricorn axis, if you like. So you've got the South Node up here and the North Node down here, actually in Cancer. So you've got these two opposing forces, and the South Node in Capricorn is all about the kind of getting rid of the karma. It's a karmic element of what we bring through with us, what we find easy on a collective, because the moon's nodes change every 18 months. So you will have which is something else you could check out as well if you're interested, is where your moon's nodes are and how that will have been affecting you as well, because they change every 18 months. So for those of us that have got that particular axis of Cancer and Capricorn at this moment in time, we have been probably more affected than most people out there. Like I said, the South Node is all about the karmic kind of what we're trying to let go of, what we're trying to move away from. And being in Capricorn, that's what it's saying to us, is that we are having to kind of release all this old, established, outdated way of looking at the world or behaving in the world, the way we respond to each other. And with Saturn and Pluto there as well, having made some very strong connections over these past year, it has been having a big effect on us all. The Capricorn energy is also about mastering something. So because we've also had Saturn and Pluto going retrograde for 6 months of this past year, there has also been big lessons, really big lessons that we've had to learn, within the concept of letting go and change that needs to occur within our lives. And sometimes the only way we can do that, or in fact the only way we can really do that, is to let go of stuff that no longer works for us, things that are kind of outdated. And that's really what this Capricorn, Saturn, Pluto, South Node energy is saying. And for you in particular, Cancer, it's all taking place within your 7th house of relationships. So that has been a big issue for you. And of course, being Cancerians, you're very kind of homely. You need your security. It's really important to you that you feel secure where you are. The family is very important to you. Relationships in general are very important to you. Being a water sign, you are very sensitive souls as well. You like to kind of feel that the people that you have around you are very supportive to you as well. And there's also things happening there as well at this moment in time with the Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio retrograde that's been going on since the 31st of October, which is coming to an end, and it is about to go direct on the 19th, 20th of this month of November. Things will start changing, but for this moment in time, Mercury has been behaving a bit like a detective, and it's been going down into the depths and the dark underbelly and the underworld of all this scorpionic stuff. And for you in particular, Cancer, this is all your 5th house ruled by Leo area. So it's all about your self-identity and your the way that you present yourself to the outer world. It's to do with your how you have fun. It's also to do with the courage of your heart as well, courage of your convictions. And so Mercury being of the mind and the logical side of things, going down into this kind of depth of this watery underworld, shall we say, there may be a lot of fears coming up there as well, a lot of fears about who you yourself are and how you relate to yourself. Also fears about your past, in the sense of situations that you may have been in the past, and things that you might be regretting now as well. Lots of things that you may be needing to let go of and kind of clear the way for other things to come in. And this again could be what Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn have been saying as well about relationships, that, you know, there's relationships that need to die. But because it's the Scorpio season, it can also be to do with rebirth as well. Things have to die in order to be reborn. You have to sometimes let go of something, or something has to just kind of, you know, to be able to transform into something else. You have to give it some space, even just like, you know, give it time to change and grow. And you've got Jupiter as well in Sagittarius at the moment, along with Venus as well. And Sagittarius is all about your 6th house of work, and you may be finding that there's changes happening there as well within your work scenario. People that you maybe didn't get on with so well, maybe you're starting to see them in a different light as well, because Jupiter is all about joy, optimism, expansion, kind of teamwork as well. So you may also be finding that you're teaming up with people in a different way than you have been in the past. You might have wanted to be more kind of I wouldn't say insular, but work more on a kind of a one-to-one basis, shall we say, whereas now you may be finding yourself in situations where you're having to kind of be more expansive and kind of bring other people into your world who you otherwise wouldn't have brought into your world. You would have kind of kept them at a distance because maybe you don't feel as though you resonate with them on the same wavelength and the same energy. But there are huge changes happening at the moment. And also just while I remember, I actually did a 1111 portal with the Sun and Mercury conjunction, Mercury going retrograde into Scorpio as well. and the full moon video, it was one whole video basically. I just put the whole lot together, the 11th and the 12th, because the full moon was on the 12th and all the other stuff kind of took place on the 11th. So the 11-11 portal with the Mercury conjunct the Sun. And then on the 12th, because the energies were kind of very similar still and still kind of representing the same thing, I decided to just do one big video and kind of bring it all together. So if you're interested in finding out any more information on that and maybe having a few more insights into it as well, because I did a reading about that as well. It wasn't just the astrology, I also did an actual tarot spread as well to go along with that, and you will find that on my channel underneath the 11-11 portal, conjunct Mercury, Sun retrograde. So yeah, so the full moon, which just took place in Taurus, opposite Scorpio, has been kind of highlighting all of those issues for you, which are taking place within the 11th house of Aquarius, because the Taurus is your 11th house, and Aquarius is all about our community, our friends, our like innovation, change, new things coming in, sudden bolts out of the blue. Aquarius is a bit of a maverick because it's ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is probably the most kind of like out of the blue planet that's out there. It's kind of like one of those things that it just hits you sideways, and it's kind of, where did that come from? And at the moment it's actually in Taurus as well, so it's all about the values, and I would say it's got a lot to do with how you know, asking you, how do you value not only yourself, because of all this stuff that's going on with Mercury in Scorpio in your 5th house, the self, your identity. Not only how do you value yourself, but how do you value also your friendships, and what connection is there between how you value yourself and how you value your friendships, the people that you allow close to you. Taurus is about value, it's about finance, it's about it's the physical realm, it's the realm where we kind of live and in our environment, and it's about beauty and all the good things of life is represented by Taurus. It's very earthy, like I say. It's kind of like, you know, if you think of a lush kind of very productive garden, you know, full of all these beautiful old trees with bearing all these wonderful different fruits and things, you probably wouldn't be far wrong when it comes to the Taurus energy. They're very kind of abundant type people, and so there could be this thing at the moment about like you know, these changes happening within that field for you of your own likes and dislikes, and actually really kind of having to question what it is that you want within your own environment, and what it is that you are going to allow within your own kind of boundaries, even, you know, kind of your kind of barriers and your boundaries. How far are you going to let people in, or how, you know, far are you going to keep them at a distance as well? So there could be aspects of that too. So that's where I'm going to finish your astrology part of the reading, and I'm going to move on to the actual card reading. And the first, sorry, not that one, the wrong box. The first cards I'm going to read for you are the Namaste Blessing cards by Tony Carmine Salerno. And these two cards came out together, Cancer, and I find it very interesting how kind of similar they are. They really do look like they're the same environment, if you like, you know, almost like, you know, kind of, you can't really tell where one finishes and one starts when you put them together. There's a real kind of flow of energy between the two cards. So the first card I'm going to read is the a blessing through emotional upheaval. And it says an emotional storm. I'm going to take my glasses off because I find it easier to read with them off. An emotional storm is forming and things may seem chaotic for a while. But as the storm subsides, a blessing is revealed. Respect all points of view, for we each view the world a little differently. Things are being shaken up for a good reason, and all involved will benefit. And I feel that there could be a lot of this happening in your world at the moment, Cancerians, with all this kind of Pluto, Saturn, South Node energy. You really are feeling it within your realm of relationships, and also within the family realm as well, because of the North Node that's been in Cancer for the last year. And Mercury going retrograde within your self-identity at the moment as well. So you probably are feeling this big shake-up, things changing. Uranus as well in Taurus. Your value system being questioned. People, you valuing your friendships as well, or re-evaluating in many ways, questioning their who works for you, who doesn't work for you, with the sense of, is it beneficial for you in the long run? What is it that you're gaining from this as well? So that was the first card, and the second one that came out, actually I'll hold that up for you so you can snapshot it if you really want to. And the second card is the blessing of questioning. And it says, examine and identify any belief that stems from an irrational fear. Ask yourself, do I still need this? If the answer is no, then replace it with a trusting, more loving belief. Blessings flow to you as soon as you do this. Set yourself free. I think this is what's happening for you at the moment, Cancerians. There's a lot of setting yourself free. A lot of moving away from situations that no longer work for you, that you no longer need to be in, but you still maybe haven't quite found that courage maybe to realize this, that you no longer have to even believe things the way that you've always been told that you have to believe things, but to be questioning, to question. Question everything. Always worthwhile. So there's the start of your reading, and the rest of the reading, the most part of the reading, I will be doing with the Greek Mythic Tarot. Originally, they are done by Juliet Sherman Burke and Liz Green, who created them together. And at the heart of that reading, we have this card, the Seven of Swords, and it's in reverse. Now, just by looking at this card, you can see that there's something not right about it. It's dark for a start. Very dark card. Not a lot of light in this card apart from this moon, which kind of implies that this is taking place in the dark. This is nighttime. And this character here is going in to do something very dubious, very, very wrong. But at the same time, he has to do it because of the patriarchal laws which we stand by, or have been told we have to stand by for so long. He's having to go and do something that he really does not want to do. But in the Greek Mythic Tarot, or in the Greek stories, the patriarchy was very, what's the word? It's very, very much given the, higher energy, shall we say. You didn't argue with the gods. You didn't argue with Zeus. You didn't argue with Apollo. or Poseidon, or these Greek gods who had your life in their hands, as it was believed back then. You didn't argue with it. And so in this card, what he's doing is, because it's upside down, I would say that this is, it's a situation where somebody, in this, when it's up the right way, it's still very dubious. It's still, a lot of people see this as kind of a deceitful card, and there is an element of deceit in it. The deceit can actually be to yourself as well, because you're kind of doing something that you don't want to do and it doesn't feel right to you. So you're actually being deceitful to yourself just as much as you're being deceitful to anybody else that's involved. And sometimes we have to go against our better nature, and we have to do something that a situation may call for us to do. And so here he's kind of holding his cards close to his chest. He's not giving out all the... He's not telling people what he's up to. He's not letting people near and dear to him know that he has to go and carry this out because he's been told by the gods that he has to go and do it. Now, that doesn't make it right, but it has put him in a situation of having to make a decision as to, can he go against something that he's been brought up to believe, if you like, is how it is. He's been brought up to believe that the gods will punish him even more if he doesn't do what he has to do. So there is this element of kind of a deception, having to guard your own back as well. Maybe there's something there where you feel as though you can't let your guard down. And because it's upside down, I'd say that this is really intense at the moment. It's like really kind of full on. It's a situation that Cancerians are finding themselves in. And this could be to do with the Mercury going through Scorpio, a retrograde kind of real self-identity crisis, and you know, bringing up some real nasty stuff, just some real kind of heavy kind of thoughts, and self-destructive thoughts, because it's mind, because it's sword. Sorry, it is about the mind. It is about the thinking realm. It would relate to the air cards, Libra, Aquarius and Gemini. So that's what's at the very heart of this reading at this moment in time, Cancerians. That's maybe where you're finding yourselves, which is not a particularly nice place to be, because you're having to kind of question your own part in all of this as well. And another reason I say that is because above you, and what you are aware of in your head, is there is a call here for judgment. Again, if it was up the right way, I would say that this is a good energy, in the sense that this is literally, this is Mercury, this is Hermes, this is messenger of the gods. So this is Hermes going down into the underworld, literally what is happening at the moment with Mercury in Scorpio. And I think that's very representative of this as well. And this may also have a lot to do with Pluto taking place at the moment as well. Pluto, the transformation, birth, death, rebirth, this kind of dark night of the soul kind of energy in some ways. But this is saying that something has happened. To me, this is saying something has happened that has kind of put you in a situation of, you are having to deal with past issues, because these characters here, these mummies that are rising up out of these graves, represent to me memories of situations with people or yourself, or just things that you are not maybe very happy with yourself about, content with yourself about, feelings of, you know, did I do somebody harm? Did I act out of character? Did I do something that I shouldn't have done? And I think that's kind of what's happening at the moment, is things are being dredged up with this Mercury retrograde. It's being dredged up for everybody. But I think for you Cancerians at the moment, it's quite a dark place that you're finding yourself in because of it. Because it's gone down into the underworld, and there may be like this feeling even that you feel that you're just stuck in this unknown realm, somewhere that you don't particularly want to be, having to do something you don't particularly want to do. But there is hope, because this garden here at the back, that's saying that, you know, this is kind of, once you've dealt with all this, once you've removed all those doubts and those fears, and you've kind of cleared out all that unwanted baggage in many ways as well, Scorpio, Pluto, relationships, 7th house, unwanted baggage that you've been carrying around with you and allowing to affect you, possibly more than you realise, that once you have managed to do that, and there are ways that can be done, there are modalities out there that can help you to clear out this this unwanted baggage and these emotions and feelings, if you like, that are no longer helpful or working for you. This is where you want to get to. This is your kind of goal, if you like, is coming into this garden, this beautiful outside, sunny, happy, joyful, abundant realm. And maybe at the moment you just feel as though you're never going to get out again because of the Mercury Scorpio. It is very, for you in your 5th house, Cancerians, it is going to be very personal, because it is all personal self-identity. Leo, ego, look at me, centre stage. And you might be centre stage in a way that you don't particularly want to be centre stage at the moment. That maybe there's this, there could even be something where, you know, you've been caught doing something that maybe you shouldn't have been doing. Or you're thinking about doing something that maybe you know deep down that really you shouldn't be doing it. So, the card that's underneath those two cards, and what's actually the subconscious realm placement, and is really a very subconscious realm card, because it is, again, it's water, it's the deeper depths. The Queen of Cups is, to me, always the kind of real more deep depth, if you like. She literally sits in her emotions. She is literally like the subconscious herself. To me, she relates very much to the kind of high priestess energy as well. Very psychic, very sensitive, very intuitive. But because it's upside down, I'll just say as well that the gender thing is not an issue. It doesn't have to be a female. It can be just either gender. It is the energies of the card rather than the actual card itself that I'm talking about here. So, so because it's upside down, there could be elements here of again, of not feeling of not feeling satisfied, or not just satisfied, but feeling that something isn't right here, that emotionally something isn't right as well, that you're picking up maybe on something that you just feel isn't right, or you yourself are now putting yourself in a situation where you know that something isn't right, that it's going to emotionally upset you, it's going to put you into a place of turmoil and disturbance. And or that could just be that that's where you are finding yourself emotionally at the moment, because you're having to go through this as well. You're having to kind of go through your emotions and your baggage and your letting go of things that no longer serve you. And you may not want to be letting go of certain things that you may, on some level, there may be things that you still want to hold on to and still have an emotional attachment to, because she is an incredibly emotional individual, the Queen of Cups, to the point where she almost doesn't understand her own emotions, because her own emotions can be so overwhelming that she can also, pick up on other people's emotions very easily. And when it's up this way, I tend to find that people who have this energy don't know necessarily how to cope with it, that it's overwhelming for them, it's too much. They're very empathic, very in tune, very clairvoyant, very clairaudient, clairsentient, and they may not know how to deal with these energies. They may, you may be finding that these are coming out more and more as we go through these kind of transitions with all these planets that are taking place at the moment. You may find that these are happening to you without you even fully being aware that they're happening, or the connection between what's happening with the planets and yourself. You may not be aware that they've got a part to play in all this, but there is a big awakening happening, and more people are becoming in tune with things that they, shall we say, weren't necessarily aware of or in tune with before. Because up this way, she's a very aware character, very aware, very psychic, very clairvoyant. Like I said, she kind of works with her feelings and her emotions. She understands them enough to know that what she's feeling and experiencing is okay. But when she's up this way, she can be maybe thrown for a loop, maybe kind of feeling that she's having to behave in a way that doesn't sit naturally with her. I just get the feeling that there is a situation here with what's happening with the planets at the moment, where Cancerians are kind of maybe not feeling very trustful as well. This could have something to do with a inner distrust at the moment, because they don't necessarily even know who they are, or you don't necessarily know who you are. Cancerians, for any cross watchers out there as well, just be aware that that could be something that's going on with a Cancerian that you're either in a relationship with, or interested with, or have just interested in, or just finished a relationship with. And what's moving away, and what has been around for a while, is this feeling of life being okay, life being good, being able to cope with it, just kind of things flowing along nicely. You've got your kind of idea of where you're going. You've got, there's been good communication with people around you. And the boat for me always represents life, so it kind of is like, you know, just flowing along on those waves. It's just going where it's going. It knows where it's going. It knows what it wants to do. It's having fun. It's enjoying itself. It's just kind of like, you know, riding the waves. Life's good. There's no barriers, no obstacles. Nothing's in the way. And if there is anything, you can see it. You can go around it. The weather's good. It's kind of just all clear. It's just like, yay, you know, really easy time. It's been really quite supportive, and things have kind of just been flowing along. So it's a very different energy to what I'm picking up here with this card. All of a sudden it's kind of gone very much more kind of inner and much more kind of darker somehow. There's a darker feeling about it, a feeling of being of shadow, maybe shadow work as well, having to deal with your own shadow and your past and your elements of that as well. So that's what's moving away, and what's moving in is the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands to me is always a great card because it is moving out of the darkness. It's literally lighting his little torch here. And he's saying, come on, let's get out of this. Let's move away from this kind of negative thoughts and negative feelings, and kind of bring a light into the darkness. I think that's what this is kind of saying really here. We need to bring a light into the darkness. And the sun here is rising, so it is like a new day dawning, like, you know, the darkness is being cleared by the light that's happening from the sun as well. And interestingly enough for me as well, the conjunction that we've just had with Mercury literally was Mercury going over the sun, almost like the sun was completely clearing Mercury of any kind of past baggage itself, so that he could then carry on down into the depths of Scorpio. And for me it was almost like he was being given this light by the sun, this flame, so that he could actually light his way down into the depths, so that he would know what he was finding down there. Because there is a sense of like, I don't know what it is that I'm going to find when I get there, and I'm not particularly looking forward to it, but I know I've got to do it. But this card is coming in, this energy is coming in, so it's almost saying that, you know, once you've gone through that process, this is where you're going to be kind of like, right, okay, I know what I'm doing now. And so you're kind of leaving that situation, and you kind of got a new idea. You've got this new idea, this new creative plan has kind of arisen from that situation. It's almost like you've suddenly been illuminated. You've suddenly seen the light. It's like all of a sudden it's like, ding, now I know. So it is almost saying that, you know, in many ways that this is all very necessary. Uncomfortable, but necessary. Because it's a page, it's a young energy, so it's an energy that's kind of needing to grow up and mature. It needs to be taken care of, literally like you would take care of a young child. Nurture it as it grows up. So it's a new energy that's coming in, a new idea that's going to spur some new kind of movement. That could be a movement away from where you are literally living. Some of you could actually move. Some of you could say, right, that's enough. Let's get away from this place. It holds too many memories and I don't want to be here anymore. That could also have something to do with this as well. And even this feeling of like, I need to get away, and maybe you're not telling everybody at this moment in time that that's what you're planning, holding your cards close to your chest. But the Page of Wands is going to give you a new outlook. So I'm going to pull some more cards with the Gilded Tarot and ask for some clarity for the heart of the reading, Seven of Swords, and the Judgment card. So could I have some clarity, please, for Judgment and Seven of Swords? What is it that Cancerians need to know? Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising Cancerians. What is the energy between Judgment and the Seven of Swords? What is the energies? What are the messages that... Okay, I'll take that one as well. So we have the Four of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles, which have come out together. And that is between the energy between this card here, and put it there, and this card here. So the Four of Swords speaks of a time of reflection before taking action. It's you've got these three swords pointing down at you, and this one sword, which is kind of the sword that you're going to take with you if you go into battle, if you like. But the three swords pointing at you is almost like to do with, if you think of the Three of Swords earlier on in the tarot deck, sorry, the Three of Swords kind of represents a situation of heartbreak, of something that's happened that has kind of involved more than two people usually, and a situation of heartbreak, that something has taken place which has deeply wounded. Possibly all three people have been deeply wounded by it. So it's kind of pointing down at him, and he kind of has this sword here, which is kind of his, almost like, you know, he can take this up, this sword, he can pick it up and he can go and kind of resolve an issue, a situation. It's again, it's that air card relating to Gemini, Libra and Aquarius, being of the mind. But also it kind of represents to me the kind of who he is, like, you know, he's thinking about this challenge. He doesn't really want to do it. He's having to reflect on it. And the reason that I don't think he wants to do it is because all these swords are kind of pointing down at him. And he knows that if he does what he's been told he has to do, because of what's taken place in the Three of Swords card, he's going to feel worse, shall we say. He knows that he's going to have to, you know, it's going to lead to this situation of finding himself somewhere that he doesn't want to be, having done something that he feels that, or he's about to do something that he feels he shouldn't really be doing. Again, because of the gods, again, because really, you know, believing in something, or, you know, allowing our minds to be controlled by situations. This is where we kind of end up, if you like. So he's reflecting here on what it is that he feels that he needs to do in this situation. Time of reflection before taking action. And we also have the Seven of Pentacles, and that came out reversed as well. So to me, it's kind of saying that there's this feeling that, because the Seven of Pentacles can be to do with rewards for work that has been put in to something. You look here, she's kind of gathering together her pentacles. These are each kind of represent the hard work and the hard labour. But because it's up this way, I get the feeling that you know, that it's almost a feeling of that, is this labour going to be worth it? Am I going to receive the reward that I thought I was going to receive? Or am I just going to send myself down this kind of crazy, crazy path of despair and behaving in a fashion that I know I shouldn't really be behaving in, doing something that I don't really want to do, and not receiving the rewards that I really do want to receive. Both of these are sevens. Seven of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles. Both sevens. So the choice is there. Really is, you know, the reflection that is taking place. Is it going to be worth it? Whatever it is that's being contemplated and thought about and kind of worked through, and you know, the plan that's being put into place before the action is taken. And this is kind of the action that is being taken. And this is kind of saying, like, you know, are the rewards that I'm going to receive for it worth the action that I'm planning on taking? And this could have something to do with this card as well, because it did come out in between. It was the energy that I asked for to connect these cards together. And so for me, it's kind of saying, you know, that because this is in the head, and what you're aware of is this energy of feeling that you've got to let go of this baggage. You've got to go down into the depths of your soul, if you like, and really kind of look at things, let things go. Another issue with this card is forgiveness as well. That there is an element for a need for forgiveness, which is also maybe what this card is talking about. That, you know, don't go and do something for revenge's sake, because you won't get the reward that you're wanting and craving so much. Look for forgiveness. Look for forgiveness in yourself first and foremost. Forgive yourself for any part you might think you have played within this situation. Any role that you think has led you up to this, where you're at the heart of the matter today for yourself. What has got you into this particular place? And then forgive yourself, which is not always easy. Not always easy at all. But that is one of the bigger elements of this Judgment card, is being able to forgive. Because in order to forgive, in order to let go, we have to be able to forgive. Forgiveness is the key issue in letting go. Judging, letting go. Judging, forgiving, letting go. Letting go of past hurts, letting go of where it's led you up to, letting go of the people that you think were involved in it, letting go of the situation, and forgiving. Just keep forgiving. Literally. tell yourself that you forgive the situation, you forgive yourself for the part you played or think that you may have played within that situation, or the part that you know that you played within that situation. Forgive the person or the people that were involved in those situations as well, because they too need forgiveness. And it's not saying forget, it's just saying forgive, because otherwise you're just going to end up feeling really hurt and alone and left out in the cold in some way. This is not going to lead to your own happiness deep down, this feeling of happiness, but you are having to kind of hold your cards close to your chest at the moment for whatever reason. So I'm going to ask for a card for the Queen of Cups, Queen of Cups, and the Seven of Swords. What's the energy, please, that is holding these two cards together for Cancerians? Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising. There we go. Okay. We have the Queen of Swords over the top of this energy. And it's reversed. And it is the complete opposite of this energy here, which was also reversed. If I remember rightly, they both come out reversed. So this is saying to me that at the moment things are very confusing for you, Cancerians. You're very caught up not only in your emotions, but you're also trying to work things out logically. What with this, these two coming up here, but all you seem to do is keep finding yourself in this dark place that you don't want to find yourself in. You don't seem to be able to... If this was up the right way, I would say that the Queen of Swords was very much in control of her thinking mind, her logical. She's very kind of precise. She analyses things. She doesn't act without thinking things through. She's very fair. She's very she's accurate in her understanding of things. And the way that she I suppose somebody balances things up as well, because she is air energy again. She has all the qualities of the air signs. So you've got the Libra balance and harmony, and the Gemini kind of very precise, knows exactly, and also the Aquarius kind of fast thinking, quick changing mind as well, which is also a Gemini and Libra traits, this air energy. But with this being up this way, I'd say that somehow there's just this sense of confusion. A sense of confusion that she can't bring in the light, almost like this light is kind of just being what's the word I'm looking for here? Dimmed, or kind of in this water. It's like almost like the light keeps getting kind of submerged here into this watery realm of emotions and not being able to think clearly, which possibly could also be the Mercury Scorpio element as well at the moment. Just this sense of not feeling as though you're able to make a clear decision about something. You kind of know on some level that there is something that you need to be honest about, as well. I think that's another element of this here, which is kind of these three together. There is a need for some honesty within maybe a relationship too. Maybe even a relationship with yourself. Maybe you need to be honest with yourself here with these two queens coming out. Again, it doesn't have to be female energy. It is just the energies represented by these cards. I'm not just talking to women when I'm talking about queens. I also can relate to, you know, men who have a more sensitive, receptive nature, because that's really the difference between the feminine and the masculine energies. The masculine is more driving and forceful and pushing and active, and the queen's energy is much more kind of receptive, receiving, passive. But that can work either way. It doesn't have to be a masculine energy within a man. It doesn't have to be the feminine energy within the female either. So just clear that up before anybody thinks I'm being sexist or genderist or anything. I'm not. It's just how the cards have come out. So that is the feeling that I'm getting about it at the moment, though, that there is this need here for this honesty to kind of be brought out into the light. But each time maybe that this person feels that they're getting somewhere, this kind of overwhelming emotional feeling kind of stops it, kind of pulls it back, draws it back, stops the makes it, just stops them from feeling as though they're getting anywhere. That this doesn't feel right, in the sense of it's not a productive, doesn't feel like a productive situation that they're finding themselves in here either. It's not productive, it's not kind of giving them what they need here with this Seven of Pentacles, you know. So there is a need here for some honesty and some truth from somebody here. Somebody isn't laying all their cards on the table. That's the feeling that I get from this reading. Somebody isn't laying all their cards on the table. And that could even be more than one person. But definitely somebody. There's a feeling here, Cancerians. Whether it's yourselves or whether it's somebody that you're dealing with. But definitely, I get a very strong feeling that somebody's not being totally honest with somebody about something important. Okay, two cards have come out, and they've both come out reversed. So we have okay, yeah. Right, so we have the Magician. Let me just show you this one first. The Magician reversed, and the Five of Pentacles reversed. And these have come out between the Seven. Sorry, reversed. All reversed. All reversed. Reverse, reverse, reverse. Upright. There we go. So they've all come out between the Seven, which is the heart of the matter, and this energy here, which is the incoming energy. And the Magician and the Five of Pentacles is the energy that is kind of in between these. It's what's bringing this energy in. And for me, it is saying that there is a situation here which is not being manifested very again, I want to say openly, honestly, somebody is feeling that they're not being given all the information. Somebody's feeling left out of a situation, that they're not being told everything that they need to be told. And that's causing a delay in the manifestation. This magician just wants to kind of create something good. He just wants to be able to bring all his creativity into one place and make something manifest for him. But at the moment, he's not being able to do that. He's reversed for a start. And so there is this feeling of like not being able to like something being held back. Something being held back. Also with this here as well, I get the feeling that the Five of Pentacles again is holding something back. Something's not being allowed to manifest. And if I put these two cards together, this card, the heart of the matter, and this card, the future, what's coming in, it's interesting because this is kind of leaping forward towards this with his torch to kind of light the way here and almost to say, come on, like, you know, let's find a different way of doing this. Which I think is what this magician upside down is saying as well. Like, you know, let's manifest this in a different way. Let's stop believing that this has to be the way it is. That it can be done differently. It can be done differently. That we do have that ability, if you like, to kind of light this situation up, bring some light in from into the dark, which I think is what this is here. He just wants to bring some light in, and there's a light here as well. If you look at this light here, it's almost like this pentacle down here, which if it was up that way it would be the bottom one, but in this card, because it's up this way, it's almost like it's the top pentacle, and it's kind of pointing upwards and saying, like, you know, look up, look up. You can get out of this situation, but in order to do so you need to kind of bring in a higher light. You need to become aware of the fact that to manifest something better, if you like, you need to kind of realise that it's not just you that's creating a situation, as in the sense of there's a higher energy here at work that is working with you and through you. If you allow it to, it will help you out of this situation, but you've got to open yourself up to that. That's what I'm getting from these cards. Something needs to be brought out into the light. Something needs to be brought out into the light. Honestly, with some honesty. Right, one last card over the top of those, and then I will finish the reading because the time is getting on. And I've got two more cards up there that also came out. In fact, I might just leave these. Is there any more messages for Cancerian? Is there anything else that Cancer needs to know about the Page of Wands? Anything else? Any other messages for Cancerians with this reading today? Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising. Okay. Came out reversed again, but it is the Fool. So it's saying that there is a potential for new beginnings here. There is a potential for you to start something, start on a new path. The Page of Wands here is wanting to do, is wanting to leap into a new path. And the Fool is also saying that that is a possibility, that is possible, there is potential here. But you have to kind of stop looking at things from the wrong perspective. You've got to stop looking at things in a negative, dark kind of, oh, this is how it is, I must do it this way kind of energy, that you don't have any choice. Because that's what the Page of Wands is saying. Page of Wands is saying, come on, we can get out of this situation, we can start something new here. But in order to do that, you've got to be willing. On some level, I think willing to kind of really change your outlook. Change your outlook. The Fool kind of reminded me here of the Hangman as well. It hasn't actually come out as the Hangman, because the Hangman is more about sacrifice and surrender, and I don't think that's so much what this is about, as more about changing your outlook of how, you know, how you leap, where you're leaping to. Who do you trust? Do you trust yourself enough in order to be able to take this journey that is coming? So those are the messages that I have for you today, Cancerians. I'm going to finish it with the Ask and It Is Given cards, which I like to end my readings on, because they're all about manifesting and how, why we manifest and what we're manifesting, the reasons that we're doing it. And the cards themselves are done by Esther and Jerry Hicks. Sorry, I'll just hold that back up again in case you missed it. Esther Hicks channels an entity known as Abraham Hicks, or Abraham. If you go online, you can look him up and find out a lot more about him. There's a lot of information out there, and it's well worth doing. So the first card that came out, Cancerians, was this card. And it says, I am becoming consciously aware of my inner being. And we refer to that non-physical you as your inner being or your source. It is not important what you call that source of energy or life force, but it is important that you are consciously aware of when you are allowing a full connection to it and when you are restricting it in some way. And I think that's what this message is about in many ways. It's like, what are you restricting? What are you stopping yourself from being allowed to receive and achieve and bring into your life? To create. What are you stopping yourself from creating? Creating the new, creating something that's not of this energy. By bringing source energy into the situation, which is what I think the Magician is saying, is like, you know, you want to manifest, you have to have a higher energy, a higher awareness, if you like, to kind of bring that through, because you can manifest anything. And this card is, my desires and beliefs are only thoughts. Says, your desires and beliefs are just thoughts. Ask and it is given. You ask through your attention, through your wanting, through your desire. That is the asking. Whether you desire it to happen or you desire it not to happen, you are asking. And I think that's very, again, very apt with this card here. This kind of feeling of the negative state of mind, if you like. and need to kind of let it go and forgive the situation. So, Cancerians, I hope that was of some help to you. Again, my email is in the description box below if you are wanting a private personal reading with me. And please subscribe so I can grow my channel. If you want to share this, please feel free to do it. If you think there's anybody out there who this might resonate with, if you feel that it kind of would help them, and please pass it on to them. And hopefully I will see you back again next time. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.